Alrighty, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been seeing these around on, YouTube, Twitter, stuff like that, and I kind of want to just throw my hat into the ring and talk about some of my favorite OSTs in Dokkan. Now, I've always been a guy who said, I am not a major OST guy. I'm not usually playing the game with the sound on. I prefer to listen to my own music when I am playing the game. Obviously, not music that I make, but music that I listen to, and but with that being said, I still can appreciate how well designed some of the OSTs are in the game. And what I want to do today is just go over 10 of some of my favorites. Obviously, there are so many characters in this game that this video could be hours long. I know Goresh recently did a stream. I think it was like 6, 7 hours of him just listening to OSTs. It might have been longer. And ranking every single one of them, but that's not what this video is going to be. We're just going to kind of quickly listen to some of my favorites in the game right now. And the first one that I have on the screen here is LR Great Ape Vegeta's active skill, the 7th year tech LR. And I guess what we could do is kind of play it and then just kind of talk about what I like about it, right? Like it'll kind of be quiet. Let it get started and then start talking about it. I think that's kind of the way that I want to do it. Okay, so while that's playing in the back here, I do think that this is a really good one, and I kind of like the way that it sort of operates, right? With the guitars and stuff like that. I think really what they should be doing, what an OST should serve to provide is like sort of the vibe that the character is giving off, and this one definitely has that sort of menacing tone to it, and kind of like a like you were in some trouble here, whoever is up, the boss is up against, right? Or whichever boss. And unfortunately, I don't think that the kit really matches that, especially on release. But overall, this one is definitely a high quality active skill or OST here. I really like the sound of it, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I think it sounds a little bit different from what we're used to in terms of extreme class characters and stuff like that. Definitely trying to giving that vibe like a boss. I think that's really kind of what I wanted to say about it. So, Great Ape Vegeta, my first one. Let's move on. Okay, so next up, you guys know how much of a sucker I am for this one. We have him in the OST or in the background music of my videos all the time, and that's AGL Gamma 2. Let's go ahead and get started with this one. It's the beginning of this is so catchy. Like sometimes I'll catch myself just like humming this to myself, right? Like I really like this OST and I use it in the background of my videos all the time. So you guys definitely know how good the Gamma 2 OST is. I think when it comes to kind of giving that vibe of especially what Gamma 2's character was, where it's like kind of like, I'm a superhero, look at me, and how flashy he was and all of those different things, the vibe of just like a cartoon sort of superhero that, starts as a boss and then ends up being, the good guy and ultimately doing what he does in superhero. I think that really just kind of embodies the character of the swagger, if you will, of Gamma 2. Definitely a fun character. It took me a bit to kind of come around to the Gammas, but when I did, I was definitely all in, right? I really like the Gammas. Seeing their design initially, looking back at like superhero and stuff like that, I was doing content at the time, but I don't think I was like talking about it. But definitely really like the Gammas now. So this is one of my favorites for sure. Let's go ahead and move on. So next up on the list, I have a true classic. You guys know about this one. STR Super Vegito, one of the game's all-timers right here. I'm sure we know all about it. We know it. We love it. It's when this guy dropped and you heard it, the Supreme Fusion was out and it was time to go, right? Like it was like, all right, here comes some damage. Here comes some counters, all of that fun stuff. It was time to get grooving, moving and grooving here with this Vegito. And I definitely think that OST did the job that you wanted to see from it in terms of encapsulating that sort of like, okay, it's game over, you win. And I think the tech one also had that sort of vibe to it. I don't believe I don't have the tech one on this list, but that's definitely an elite OST as well. So this one of the all-time greats here. You guys all know about it. Really not too much to say, just a true classic of an OST right here in Super Vegito. So really big fan of this OST. Let's move on. Now, moving along here, a character who's been a pretty like high subject of like discussion on my channel, and that is our boy in Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku. I believe with this guy, it's like we're not here to talk about the kit, thankfully, but this OST is a badass one, right? Really just sort of like the collaborative effort of Goten and everybody, Gohan, Pan, everybody that gets involved with that, Oob. This is sort of the end result work, right? And I think that this tone that the OST has, I'm no music critic, I'm just trying to talk about it, but the tone that this one sets is like one of triumph, one of a successful sort of mission, if you will, right? And, you know, the end result here of everybody helping out Goku was a pretty badass character. And this guy, when he came out, very, very good, was definitely kicking ass and chewing bubblegum, and he was all out of bubblegum. And I think he had an accompanying OST that really kind of helped sort of point him in the right direction for feeling as badass as he looked. So, Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, love this OST. Can't speak highly enough about it. All right, so next up, I guess we'll have a surprise for you. I'll let this one play, and you guys will see who I'm talking about. It's going to be pretty quick, though. Okay, so you guys know how I feel about the Topo OST. What I like about this one, specifically like kind of what we talked about earlier, is it has a different vibe to it, right? Something that we're not really used to from Dragon Ball OSTs, right? I think if you think about like a Dragon Ball theme song, you're not thinking this type of tone to it, right? With is this a saxophone? I think it's a saxophone. I could be wrong. I'm no music critic, right? But just this sort of vibe here, I really like. And if I do get that wrong, let me know in the comment section below. But again, this sort of jazzy feel to it, if you will, combined with the typical sort of Dokkan sound of the guitars and all of that, I think really kind of blends together well and gives us something different, something that you're not used to hearing from a Dokkan OST. So really appreciate this one. I like it a lot. Physical Topo, definitely on the upper echelon of OSTs for me. I really like the way that they did this one. All right, so next up, we have a updated OST. This is one that they gave us during the 8th year anniversary for Gogeta and Vegito Blue. I'm sure you guys know at this point. They gave us updated versions for their EZAs. This way, they truly had extra OSTs, and they crushed it with both of them. But we're going to be specifically focusing on the Gogeta one today. So with this one, especially with that opening sort of riff there, not riff, but the opening notes, really like this sort of, again, the triumphant tone, the hero is here, if you will, sort of vibe that this one is giving. I'm a huge fan of. I think that they did a very good job with this OST. And, you know, you do that active skill, you do a ton of damage, and you just kind of know that the fight's going to be going your way with this Gogeta. And I think that that was just a super well done design by them here, and I really like this song. I think it's very, very good, right? The Vegito Blue one is also badass. That one gets its props as well, but it just did not make the list for me. But I really like this one, and I hope that you guys do too. Okay, so next up on the list here, another surprise. We'll let it fade in for you. This one came out recently. Well, not recently, but a few months ago, so I'm sure some of you are going to know it right away. Some of you may not. Okay, so in Gohan here, it's just like when I hear this opening here, it just immediately screams to me just like the transformation scene, obviously, right? And just really, really well done, accompanied with the intro and just how badass this unit feels to use. Wish his kit would have been a little bit better, but he's still very good. But I absolutely adore this OST. It's 100% one of my favorites. I think really, really matches the vibe that like a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is giving off. So very happy with this one. I think it's a really good OST. Have nothing to complain about with it. Just a really, really good one for sure. Okay, so next up, another one that's going to be fading in. What I like about this OST before I play it is just how different, how they try and accompany so many different like styles of music into one here, and that is what this OST is going to be providing, where you go from one vibe to another really quickly. This one's a little loud. Yeah, so I kind of like that this starts with this type of sound and then just immediately transitions into something else, right? I think that's what's so fun about it, the way that it kind of goes from one style to the next style and just gives you varying vibes from a song. And I think that that's kind of cool because it kind of really, to me, represents like a fusion, right? Where it's like you have the style of Goku, you have the style of Vegeta, they come together, and this is what you get. A badass with a really cool song to accompany it. So really big fan of this Gogeta's OST. Really like how the styles are kind of merged together and there's one sound and then another sound, and it really sort of matches the active skill, right? This sort of dimensional vibe from hell where it's you know, like the soul, like the Soul Punisher here, the Stardust Breaker, whatever you want to call it. I think it's just a song that kind of gives me that sort of vibe. So really big fan of this Gogeta one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. Okay, so next up I have Int Merge Zamasu's active skill. Big fan of this one. You guys hear this in the videos from time to time. I like a lot of the heavy guitar sounding ones, the sort of metal, the more metal sounding ones, and I think that this Int Merge Zamasu is right up my alley. Gotta turn it down a little bit. But with Int Merge Zamasu, this is another one that's just coming right for you, right? It's aggressive, it's fast, it's heavy hitting, and really sort of just kind of gives you that vibe of like what you're seeing here, right? I mean, Zamasu just like, he looks like the devil, right? You got the fire going, the white glowing eyes, the kind of halo that looks like it's made of fire. Like, it's just, this really sort of gives you that badass vibe of a final boss, if you will, right? Like, this is it. This is your mate. You met your maker. And this is the song that accompanies it. So I think that that really kind of ends up sounding very good in this specific moment here and kind of captures the vibe that Int Merge Zamasu is going with. The kind of in-between portion here is just all right, but I really like when it kind of ramps up, right? Especially at the beginning when it kind of like the loop resets. That's sort of what I really like about this character. So Int Merge Zamasu, this one is really, really good. You know, one of my favorites for sure. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite, but it's definitely on my top 10 list here that we are doing in this video. So last but not least, let's go ahead and move on to the last one for this video. And this one's going to be a classic. I always get called a boomer when I say I like this OST, and it's not even that old really compared to like, you know, the old ones, but that's going to be Tech Janemba. I am a huge fan of this Tech Janemba OST. I'm always talking about how good this one is. Let's go ahead and give it a listen. It's a little loud. Yeah, I could listen to this one all day. Definitely kind of the transformation from, you know, Big Janemba into Super Janemba here is just really, really encapsulating of the character, where it's like, okay, you just like, if you see this guy, you messed up. And that's what Goku did. He messed up having Janemba transform like this, and then you kind of saw that throughout the fight, right? Where it was just kind of like Goku went from handling business with Fat Janemba and then obviously getting his shit kicked in, for lack of a better word, against our boy Janemba here. So there you guys go. That is my top 10 OSTs right now in the game. Don't take them too serious. This one's just for fun, talking about songs in the game that I like. Obviously, there's so many more songs that I could have included on this list, but I think 10 was a good point here. We got to listen to them. Let me know some of your favorites in the comment section below. What OSTs are you a fan of, and all of that fun stuff. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. Don't forget to leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you were new, and I'll see you all in the next one.